Oh, fantastic, mate. Well, I say fantastic,
So
but
they're running the yellow because of this nephew.
Yeah.
Right.
right. Don't blame you. Mm-hmm.
You know what you should have done?
Yeah.
You know what you should have done, Tony?
Fantastic.
Gone and chilled out with Jeffrey.
Would you like the company, Woody?
Police have took him. Police have got rid. He's gone. Jeffrey?
I wonder if there's some interesting fun facts about Suzuka.
Yes.
Michael Schumacher did win a championship here, but it was probably the most pointless championship ever.
As did Damon Hill.
The better driver, clearly.
Murray, the greatest commentator of all time, said that he has to stop. He's got a lump in his throat.
Wait, Murray, the greatest commentator? You chatting shit?
Yeah.
Don't make me start on you now.
Who's better commentator than Murray Walker?
Me.
Can't stop it. You're going to make me blush.
Me.
Fucking Martin Brundle.
Oh, what?
Crofty all day long.
I hope you're trying to wind me up like that. I hope you're trying to wind me up like that.
Well, he is, isn't he? He's just so much better, isn't he? When he manages to get the wrong names of the wrong helmets of the wrong cars, you know, it's fucking brilliant, you know? Yeah, exactly.
You know what, babe? You don't. You get one anyway.
I think the greatest line that fucking I can't even remember his name. What's his name? Murray Walker? That's the one.
PN's just put Crofty as shit, still better than Dan.
I would hope fucking so. He's got a job. I haven't.
I'm going to be honest with you, PN. Dan's better than Crofty. In all honesty. And he's better than Brundle. Dean was THR.
No.
Facts.
No, I know who the best commentator is, Dad. Do you remember Digger's dad? Yep. Couldn't fucking stand a word. That's the one. Couldn't understand the fuck he was on about.
Why? Nice. Right.
I love Tony's laughing at that.
I'm not being funny. Even if you, of all people, and Dan, if Ginster sponsored this channel and you two were commentating, you'd be you just put it to one side and be like, yeah, Ginster's great past, it's fantastic. Ah, yeah.
No, that's shit.
Tom Ingram clearly liked the brand. Good evening, Tom. Yeah, exactly.
And he still preferred a pork pie. Right.
That's
Good
it.
luck, boys. I'll catch you later.
Cheers, man.
Thanks, dude.
See you later. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport. We are live back once again here on a Wednesday night for your Pro-Am Championship. My name is Dan Davis, and I'll be bringing you all the action here tonight here for the Pro-Am drivers, and it's an interesting night's worth of racing ahead of us as we now start to get ourselves down to the crunch time part of the season. We've only got 3 circuits left to go this season. We've got Suzuka, Spa and Kyalami still yet to go for the rest of the season. It is down pretty much to 3 drivers. John Goudet still mathematically able to catch the top 3, but let's be honest, it is pretty much down to the wire between those 3 drivers. Before we get into that though, we are here live at Suzuka, the land of the rising sun, for the next part of the season, and we are live here 15 and 16 for our PS5 and Xbox X Championship, our first crossplay season here, and like I said, it is down to 3 pretty much, with Matthew Duffin still leading the way at the minute ahead of Nova, who's currently fastest at the minute, with Flem Speed 1 still in the fight as well. Also, just a reminder, the grey drivers obviously carry ballast, and that is our boys who are for the championship fight right now. But the difference this time out is we want a clean, fair fight between all 3 of them. So all of them are running 40 kilos. So if we look at the tables, all 3 drivers, as you can see to the far right hand side, are all carrying exactly the same ballast. Obviously all these guys should really be in the pro category, but obviously due to other circumstances they have to be in the Pro-Am night, so they are carrying the ballast, but it is evenly spread. Nova 40 kilos, Matthew Duffin 40 kilos, and Flem Speed 1 40 kilos as well. All 3 drivers are going to be level on the weight, so we'll see who comes out the best tonight. And while you're there, please guys, if you haven't done so, please hit that like button. Let's say hello in the chat. Let's see you all guys here this evening as we see the fight go down to the wire here at Suzuka. and Spa, and finishing things off in South Africa in Kyalami. Quick rundown of the Suzuka circuit. The Japanese circuit, one of many Japanese tracks, and obviously probably the most famous Japanese circuit of them all, closely followed by Fuji. Obviously holds some fantastic events. It opened back in September 1962, 61 years ago. Owner is the Honda brand-owned Suzuka circuit. Obviously, guys, if you have been with us for a while here at Simply Motorsport, you would also know it as Sekito, as well as another version that we raced here on Project Cars. And amongst some of the drivers, it's actually one of their favorites. A lot of drivers seem to hate it. A lot of drivers seem to love it. There's no real in the middle. It's either love or hate. So it's got the very famous 130R. It's got the S's, the Degnas. It is a very, very challenging circuit. 18 corners all together. And I said in the heart of Japan. Some of the famous events that run here is the Formula One Championship. Obviously comes here, and it actually will be on this weekend. So it's a great promotion for the Formula One Championship, as they will make their return to Japan this week, a little bit earlier this year, hopefully to miss out of the. I believe the reason for that is to miss out on the wet. Well, firstly to not spend as much fuel and polluting the planet going all over around the world, but also to try and avoid the rainy season. So we'll see how they all get on. But Super GT come here, Super Formula, we've had the Suzuka 8 Hours around here, GT World Challenge Asia comes here as well. Some pretty high events. There's been a few other events going on here as well. World Touring Car Racer Japan have been racing here as well. So it's a very, very famous circuit, and obviously some iconic moments here at Suzuka. Obviously the most famous one of all, probably Murray Walker saying that he's got a lump in his throat as Damon Hill crosses line to become world champion, or down in turn 1 when Senna and Prost came together, and even the most amazing move I've ever seen in a Formula One car, Fernando Alonso going right round the outside of Michael Schumacher at 130R. A fantastic circuit, and really a driver's circuit. You really have to be synced here, and you got to be in the zone. Like I said, some iconic corners here, and at the minute it is the McLaren looking the strongest, with Nova at the top. The GT Jimbo carrying on from a fantastic Monza. He is currently second. He did take the double win at Monza. Obviously no weight on board for him, so he's got decent pace. If you let Nova and the rest of them go, he'd definitely be up with them. So GT Jimbo looking quite good in his Ferrari as he comes into the final sector. We are looking at the McLaren to be the stronger car here. High downforce circuit. Only a couple of long straights here and there down towards 130R, and obviously down towards turn 1. But it's primarily all about the downforce and the chassis. So we'll be seeing a lot of cars with a high amount of wing, and we will see the McLaren is probably going to be the strongest around here. The Porsche might have something up its sleeve as well, but all the big heavy hitters like the Lamborghini, the Mercedes, and so on and so forth will be struggling. The Aston, I think, might be a little bit slow around here as well, but we will see how these guys get on. But nonetheless, the BMW is being led by Ian Gray at the minute. Still got some decent pace underneath his car, with Nikita just behind him, and Michelle in 6th. So we've currently got 14 minutes left of practice, so we will give you a quick run through of the championship standings going into the third to last race of the season. It is Matthew Duffin who's still leading the way, with a slim lead though at the minute ahead of his championship rival. Currently running the 55 BMW. What can he do here tonight in the Jaeger Motorsport? He has the restrictor taken off, so he has got straight line speed back, but we will see what he can do with that BMW as he comes to the line now. The 55, and no improvement, probably just tweaking on a race setup. He leads the way, 9 points ahead of this man, Nova, Bullet Bandits Racing, McLaren 88. He's McLaren to be quite strong here. Might struggle when it goes to Spa. We should see the BMW come back in this element there. What can Nova do tonight? He's currently only 9 points behind Matthew Duffin in the championship standings. The other man that's looking quite good in this championship is Flem Speed 1 in the 721 Porsche 992 from FSO Racing Team. All these guys have had race wins this season. What can Flem Speed do? He had quite a rough Monza. Can he capitalize here at Suzuka? then we go to the first of the outsiders. It's John Goudet. And as you will see, the Greasy Bandits Racing duo, green, are running a yellow livery. So Dean and Goudet are actually running a yellow livery in respect of Josa, who isn't here tonight, who's sadly had to pull out due to his nephew had been attacked and injured. So sadly, he's not able to race tonight, but both of the Greasy Bandits driver are running a tribute livery in memory of Josa not racing here tonight, in respect of his nephew, and they're obviously running the yellow on the front and side of their car. John Goudet in the Mercedes 8 AMG. What can he do? Can he do anything about the top three? He's 119 points off of Duffin, and I don't really think anything can come of it. There are still 339 points available, but it's going to take a lot as well for them to really be in a mathematical chance here for John Goudet. Then it's R. Ritchie, who's had quite a quiet season. He's just been minding his own business, and towards the latter part of the season has really found a groove here. And the Italian driver running the 93 in the Italian Ferrari here in Japan. What can they do? Ferrari's done relatively well in Suzuka. Can they do the same in the GT car? He's currently 6th at the minute, and he's currently 5th in the championship. At the minute, we haven't got Max Mulder, so no Max Mulder here tonight. He's currently sat in 7th in the championship. Then the next BMW driver, Ian Gray. Sorry, no, it's not Ian Gray. It's Tucker. Well, there's Tucker. The next McLaren, the 23 McLaren Team Merlot driver, part of the Fat Boy Club group. He's currently sat in P9, and he is 7th in the championship. Team Merlot, currently 272 points and still mathematically in for a chance, but probably will lose it here tonight. Then it is Ian Gray, sat 5th at the minute in the 666 BMW, currently 8th in the championship. He's only a couple of points behind Tucker, so could really bring those points back to him. Then we move down to 9th in the championship, and we move to DJ Phil Green, still ahead of his teammate, 311 points to his name in the Lamborghini Evo 2, the 53 driver coming out on track. Can he keep himself ahead of the big boss remix? We go to the big man, and here he is going down the main street, the 22 McLaren driver, the team boss of Team Audio Sport, heading down the straight. What can he do? Can he start climbing some points back at DJ Phil? A circuit that he tends to quite enjoy is Suzuka. My dad does like Suzuka quite a lot. We'll see how he gets on this evening. He's currently 10th in the championship and still mathematically in it. The man that's still in the chance for the championship, but is probably going to be knocked out tonight, is the man in P3, B. Craig, sat 11th in the championship. And again, he's going to be probably knocked out here tonight, probably in the first race. And he is currently 3rd at the minute, running the 333 McLaren Team Merlot. See if he can bring the gap down to his championship teammate and see whether they can have a good fight towards the end of the season. But looking good in 3rd at a minute. The McLaren's looking quite strong around here. We then go to the first of the guys who are now out of the championship, and it is Dean, currently 13th on track, and he is 12th in the championship at the minute. Currently going to try and keep himself ahead of Nikita, who is in the 888 BMW. He's 6th at the minute and running 13th in the championship. In 14th place is P. Raided. He's not here with us tonight, but sadly we should hopefully see him back tomorrow in the commentary box and on Spa next week. In 15th place is Jay Winter, and I don't know if even Jay Winter is with us tonight. Oh, there is Max Mulder. Max Mulder has managed to join us, and he seems to change his livery every single week, which really helps me out. So we've got no Winter tonight, so no Jay Winter tonight. He is, though, currently sat 15th place with Micro J's in the chat in the session. 17th at the minute, and he is sat 16th in the championship. No Fat Bloke tonight. He sadly can't be with us this evening, but he is sat in 17th place position. Leon Fernie missed out last week, but he is here for Suzuka. 18th at the minute in the championship, and he goes out on track, the 217. And then it is Playman who's trying to catch him. Obviously, a couple rounds that he's missed. Playman currently sat 15th in the session. He is 19th in the championship. The man to keep an eye on for the rest of the season, though, it is this man in the Ferrari. GT Jimbo looked fantastic at Monza, taking a double win for the Ferrari 222. Can he continue that form here at Suzuka? Currently third at the minute and only a tenth and a half off Michel's time, who's now gone fastest over them all. So the Ferrari looking solid once again around this circuit. Stawson hasn't been back for a while, is in 21st position, and in 22nd is Dean Wasocki, who is going to be trying to score as many points as he possibly can to help out his teammate Matthew Duffin in the team's championships at the minute. Currently 20th on track, and he's 22nd in the championship. 23rd is Joester, but sadly he's not here with us tonight. The FBR Racing boys sadly unable to race this evening. With M. Ritchie 12th at the minute on track, the number 7 Ferrari, he is sat in 24th position. Dan John's unable to finish the rest of the season, is 25th in his Porsche, as the Cranky Duckhead in 26th position. And I don't believe we yes, we do have the Cranky Duckhead in the Honda in its home track here at Suzuka. What can the Honda do around this circuit? John Andrews is currently sat 27th in the championship, with MB Pitts 19th on circuit. He is 28th in the championship. Then D Evans, haven't seen him for a while. Allsbrook in 30th, Michael in 31st, Peterson in 32nd, Finisterre in 33rd. Then we have a BD Boy. He's currently 14th at the minute. He sits 34th in the championship. And our newest driver tonight, E. Colon, currently 18th on track in the red and black McLaren. What can he do this evening? Brand new to him this week. Obviously, a lot of these guys are coming into the later stage of the season and just going to get themselves kind of used to the driving, used to how we all race here, and ready fresh for next season to come around. So that is your championship standings. Regarding the teams, it is Jaeger Motorsport leading the way with the pairing of Matthew Duffin and Dean Wasocki currently leading the way, 7 points ahead of the Greasy Bandits Racing duo with their yellow livery. Will it give them a bit of luck tonight, or will it just curse them? With FSO, the kind of only independent team really in the hunt, in third place position, with Bullet Bandits in P4. Team Merlot have gone ahead of Team Audiosport in 5th place, with Team Audiosport in that 6th place. Can they gain some points back on them? With 7th going the way of Iceni Motorsport, with Team Richie Corsa in P8. BTC Jaeger Racing are still in the but sadly with no drivers here tonight. Then with Red Dragon Racing, the first of the teams to be knocked out of the championship. Regarding the manufacturers, it is still McLaren who are champions and will be champions. It is BMW in second. Ferrari, though, are hunting them down, and with a good night, and it looks like a very strong pair of Ferraris out front. We can see the Ferraris looking good to try and take that position away. Lamborghini currently in no man's land in P4, with Porsche in P5, Aston Martin P6 with a fight with Mercedes, Bentley in P8, but they're being hunted by Audi, Honda in P10 with Nissan in 11th place. And that is your championship standings, and that has pretty much got me through at the most of practice, which is good to see. A lot of the guys currently just sat in the pits waiting to see what happens on track. But guys, let's hear from you in the chat. We've got Simon Blair, aka the Mutts Nuts, in the chat saying good luck to all the lads tonight, and Fury's granddad as well in the chat. Evening all, good luck everyone, and we look forward to an exciting night's worth of racing. Guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here at Simplay Motorsport. And also, while you're at it as well, head down into the description and have a look at our sponsors, our fantastic sponsors. We have Design Manchester's producer of vinyl graphics, laser engraved gifts and mugs and printed clothing and much, much more, including Simplay merch. Head over to their Facebook page, Design Manchester, and search them up on there. We also have Audiosport, manufacturers of VW Transporter T4 audio solutions and styling products. www.audiosport.co.uk, and have a look at their Facebook page as well. Anything you want, anything done audio solution wise to your vehicle or van, then have a look at Audiosport and try and pimp out your T4, T5. And also we have Bozzy Designs, producers of all graphics needed such as logos, overlays and much, much more. Head over to www.bozzydesigns.com. Those are our wonderful things. We also got Anthony Walsh in the chat. Good luck all. Nice to see you in the chat, Anthony. And guys, let's hear from all of you tonight. Let's get behind these boys and support them, because this is going to be an interesting night. It's a very, very tricky circuit. And while we talk about this tricky circuit, we have not done a lap with Kelly Davis this season. So let's take a lap with the team owner, sponsor of the channel, and this being one of his favourite circuits, as we go through Spoon. And what a brilliant circuit this is. Awesome track. Very iconic. And just you've got to be brave around this circuit to get it absolutely right. So Kelly, make sure he gets a good run through the final chicane. He's currently 1.4 off the pace at the minute. Make sure you get a good exit out of the final corner as you get slingshotted out of the final corner, which is known as the Castle Triangle, as he heads down towards turn 1. Making sure you reach the highest amount of straight line speed possible. You're carrying a lot of downforce because you will need the downforce as you brake just by the service road to the left hand side, turning in and dropping down to 3rd gear. Going into turn 2 and then heading up to the S curves. Get a good exit through there, and pretty much you'll be staying in 3rd gear for pretty much all the way up the hill. Being patient, waiting for the car to grip up, find the traction, and you see there Kelly making a slight mistake, and off he goes, dropping off. And I think we'll try and find another driver that's now on a lap, which is the Cranky Duckhead. We'll try this again. The Honda driver, the home Honda car, the NSX, as we try and do another lap with the Cranky Duckhead. Do we think that Nova's going to close the gap? He's pretty much closed the gap. There's 9 points separating him and Duffin, so it's really, can Flum Speed 1 bring the gap down? That is the question. So as Cranky Duckhead goes into turn 1, tries to get the front to turn in as he heads up to the S curves, where Kelly had that slight mistake and went round. He looked to try and get a good run up the hill. And just take your time finding the apex, wait for the car to grip up. And I said most of the time you were staying in 3rd gear all the way up this section, as you then head up towards the Dunlop curve, turn 7, where the Ferris wheel is just in the background. Making sure you get a good run, a good exit, because the car will want to step out on exit here as you head up towards the Dunlop curve. Once you then negotiate the Dunlop curve, that is pretty much sector 1 done. Into sector 2, breaking out the 50 board, into Degna 1, and then into Degna 2. Degna 1 open up quite wide, and the Degna 2 a lot tighter as you try and get a good exit out of turn 9 up towards turn 10, and then braking into the heavy hairpin of turn 11. Try and get the car to turn in. The car is already screaming at you at this point. He wants good traction, tries to get a good run through turn 12, the long curve. And as he heads around the long curve, he then heads up towards the very famous corner of a Spoon. Such an awkward corner to get right. It then starts to go uphill and then straight back downhill. Awkward corner to get right, and as you can see there, the rear end stepping out on the Cranky Duckhead as he tries to get a good exit out of 14 and heads towards the famous turn 15, the 130R. In a Formula 1 car, flat in these cars, no chance. As he tries to get a good run, a drop down a gear there for the Cranky Duckhead as he then comes up to the famous Casino Triangle. Braking for the chicane where Senna and Prost came together, and Prost won the championship because Senna went down the service road and got disqualified. Make sure you get a good exit out of the final corner, out of the chicane, to complete your lap time. But here, in the ACC version, the start-finish line is actually right there as the Cranky Duckhead completes a lap round here, and that is a lap around Suzuka. Thank you to the Cranky Duckhead for completing that for us. That's pretty much everybody into the pits now, I think. Yeah, we're just waiting for Richie, who is the last man on track, who's run wide at 130R, and now we head into tonight's format. Fleming Klaus, I believe that is in the chat, and I'm guessing that is Flem Speed 1. Good luck for all, and good luck to all the drivers. It is going to be an interesting one for sure. I do have another drivers up on my stream just to see what's going on from their perspective, and you can probably guess who I'm watching. My co-commentator is I'm going to keep him to my side just to see how things get on. But the format here tonight, reverse grid of the championship. So as you can see, a BD Boy will start on pole position here tonight, and it's reverse of the championship. We see what these guys could do in the situation. So Matt and the rest will be started right at the very back, except for one new driver of E. Clouden at the back of the pack. So we see how he gets on this evening. But reverse grid, so it's only a 20-minute race. There is a pit window. They don't have to do anything within the pit lane. They just have to come in, stop, and go, and that is it. They don't need to add fuel. They do not need to add tyres. So pretty much a flat-out sprint race. They're probably going to fuel up for enough for the race as well, because every time they do add fuel, it will cost them time. Once then the sprint race is complete, we will then head into a small practice session for the guys, and we'll go on a small break. It's only 10 minutes. We'll be back straight after that, where we'll get things back underway for qualifying. While within the qualifying session, we may have a couple of drivers in for an interview after the sprint race, and to see how they felt with the car, how the track's feeling in general, and then going into the feature race, which is a 45-minute long race, and again a small pit window that they must follow and pit within that window. And again, they don't need to do any tyres or fuel or anything like that. They just have to come into the pits and stop. And that's pretty much the format for this evening. It'll be the same for the pros tomorrow night. As you can see down the side, there is a orange 1 on your TV screen. That basically means they have one stop to make. Once that goes green, that is them cleared and done. So tonight's race is going to be an interesting one indeed. Let's get a poll out, shall we, for who we think is going to win the first race. I will do a quick rundown of the grid as well. Now we've got it all set. Thankfully it's all set and ready to go once it is all in place. So we'll go with BD Boy as he is on pole position here this evening. I'm thinking M. Ritchie's looking quite good in his Ferrari, so we'll keep an eye on how he gets on this evening. We definitely have to look at GT Jimbo. Great pace from him. And I'm going to say Nikita as well. So there you go, guys. That is your poll for who you think is going to win this first race. So get your votes in, and while you're at it, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified, so you don't miss any of the action here. And obviously, keep an eye on anything that's happening on the channel, as we will be making sure that we get everyone all signed up and ready for the new season. Coming not long straight after this, to be fair. Also, if you are a part of the group and you do want to be a part of the action here at Simplay Motorsport, then sign up to the Discord, head over to the SimGrid, be a part of everything that goes on here at the chat, and also while you are in the Discord and in the chat, there has been posted a World Endurance Championship that we are going to be doing throughout the year. 2 months, every 2 months we'll be doing an endurance race, and we have got the calendar all sorted, and I'm trying to find the calendar. I've already lost the calendar. So first race will be Silverstone on the 18th of May. Only 3 hours at Silverstone. It is dual drive as well, so you can have an Xbox, PlayStation, and we're probably trying to go for Pro and Pro-Am drivers. We've got Imola as well on the 13th of July. Then Spa 4 hour on the 21st of September, and then finishing things off on the 16th of November at Bathurst for a 6 hour long race. But the main focus is here at Suzuka, as we get towards the busier end of the season. We are at round 8 of the seasons, 15 and 16. BD Boy on pole position with MB Pitts on the front row, Cranky Darkhead, Richie, Dean Wasocki, GT Jimbo, Playman, Micro Jace, Dean, Nikita, Craig, Davis, DJ Phil, Tucker, Gray, Mulder, Michelle, Goudet, Flem Speed 1, Nova, Duffin, Colon. That is your grid. As we now head into the final corner, we now wait for the green from the officials as they all line up side by side, one by one. McLaren versus Aston. BD Boy versus MB Pitts. We wait for the green. And we are green at Monza, and you can see in the background already the cars separating as they head down towards turn one. BD Boy with a fairly decent start leads into turn one as they all try and negotiate turn one as best they can. Sounds like a car off. That is Davis. He's facing the wrong way, but there's also Tucker facing the wrong way as well. So two McLarens already involved in incidences as Davis has managed to get going once again. As MB Pitts looks like he's had a moment through the first part of the S's. As you can see there, Matt is just trying to work his way through the pack. And Nova's dropped down the order, so Matt is the leading championship contender as he works his way through the order. Meanwhile, we go back to BD Boy, who's leading the way through the Dunlop curve. It is Richie who's leading the way from, I believe that's GT Jimbo right behind him. So the two Ferraris carrying on where they left off at Monza. Can they continue winning here at Suzuka? Then they've got Cranky Duckhead in the Honda trying to do his very best to defend from the pack behind, starting with, I believe that is Nikita right behind him, as they all work their way through the Degners up towards the hairpins, and the two Ferraris really looking like they want to give the McLaren a hard time. What else is going on? There's all sorts of chaos further back. Max Mulder's facing the wrong way, and is Michelle. Michelle's been caught up in incidents, and I believe your top three. Oh no, Duffin's got major damage to the front end of his car. This is really going to make the interesting race now, or the championship in that sense. But BD Boy still leads ahead of GT Jimbo now, who's got Richie falling in behind. With Cranky Duckhead still in that solid fourth place. Nikita, Playman, Craig, Micro J's, DJ Phil, Dean, Mulder, who's dropped all the way down to 11th, as you got Matt, who's got major damage and probably waiting for the window to open. Wasaki's had a decent run here. He's now behind the other Dean, and the two Deans always seem to end up with each other. As we see here, GT Jimbo going around the outside of the chicane, but that ain't going to get the job done as a BD Boy goes wide. He loses out to GT Jimbo, and GT Jimbo is going to carry on. He loses out to Richie, though, but he did cut the corner, trying to get past BD Boy, but it's Richie now who leads the way in the Ferrari. Meanwhile, in the background, all the cars negotiating their way through the final corner as Davis manages to get himself back onto the pack as all these guys are working their way through the order. Where is Duffin? There he is. Matt's got major damage to his car. He's coming straight into the pits, and the pit window has opened just in time, so he gets his stop done at the same time. But GT Jimbo has managed to get past Richie as well. We've missed out. Richie's at a moment. He's gone wide. That's going to let the rest of the pack through. Where is he going to feed into? Just in head of Micro J Zone. He's had another snap returning back onto the Dunlop curb. Really struggling with the Ferrari there, possibly some ballooning from his tyres as Colin says the fastest lap of the race so far and working his way into the groove. Obviously we've done the first couple of laps and he's probably just had the cleanest lap and has got that fastest lap. As we can see already, Flem Speed 1 and Nova are on the case and trying to work their way through the order bit by bit, and Flem Speed with that Porsche looking very strong in the corners and is looking to try and make a move on Ian Gray as they head up towards the hairpin. Oh, Richie's faced the wrong way. That's Flem Speed caught up in damage as well. And Richie facing the wrong way. That's Ian Gray with damage to the front end of his car. And a little bit of chaos as we're not sure what happened to Matt. Oh, there's more chaos in the background. Meanwhile, GT Jimbo leading the way from BD Boy, from Cranky Duckhead, from Nikita, from Playman, from Craig, from Rich. No, not Richie, as Micro J's is now behind Craig. DJ Phil is dropped behind Playman. So Playman's actually dropped down the order. So GT Jimbo leading the way. Has Duffin got going? No, he hasn't. He's about to get lapped. And this is not what Duffin wants at this stage. There is GT Jimbo. Matt hasn't even gone green yet. I'm not even sure how big a damage that Matt had. So he's not too happy. He's still waiting. And he's now about to go green, but he's now been completely lapped by the entire field as he gets going. But GT Jimbo leads the way from BD Boy, from Cranky Duckhead, from Craig, from Micro J's. Nikita has now opted to pit. Nova's into the pits as well. It has his Davis as well. So a few of the guys deciding to pit, and you see this gaggle of cars coming down the straight. Matt's got a lot of work to do now with him being a lap down, but the thing is, he can use the clean air and hope for more chaos. This is Suzuka. It's one of the more tougher circuits to get right. It's more about challenging yourself against the circuit rather than anybody else. But GT Jimbo looking really good at the minute, leading the way. Oh, it sounds like a car off. Is that Micro J's? Yes, it is. He's all over the grass, bouncing over the curb. He's struggling to get himself back on track. With Matt with a clean car and some clean air possibly, can start to work his way through the order. There is Flem Speed 1 as Nova opted to pit, and he hasn't not completed his stop, so that's going to hold him up even more. Flem Speed 1 could earn some big points and bring himself mathematically back into this fight. This is what Flem Speed needed here. Not stacked it at 130i. There was a gaggle of cars dropping it at the Degner. As you can see here, the 666 at Gray. He's got a speeding penalty, but we go on board with Johns and Flem Speed. Flem Speed and Johns. Oh, he's been squeezed by Dean and Goudet, but John Goudet trying to use as much of this points as he can for the teams. He's not really too bothered about the drivers. It's all about the teams. And with Matt not scoring very well, he's going to be dropping further back. But Flem Speed around the outside, even with the ballast on board, he gets past the Mercedes-Benz. DJ Phil, meanwhile, is still approaching the back of the other Lamborghini Evo 2 of Playman. You just see it just ahead is Matthew Duff in a lap down. Could be using that clean air to his advantage as Micro J's comes straight into the pits. He does not want to be a part of that action. And Colin on his debut here, mind his own business. He's currently up in 9th place, I believe he will be after the times catch up. Yes, he will be 9th at the minute and looking very good as well, as Davis has returned back on track with ahead of Max Mulder, Richie with big damage, and Duffin in the middle of the leading squabble. But Dean on the back of Colin, trying to give him some hard time. The new boy is as well. Dean Wasocki is chasing MB Pitts. DJ Phil, though, is the man putting the pressure on the other Lamborghini driver of Playman. We got Richie and Nova back into the pits. So Nova dropping further back. Where is Duffin? He's in the further end of the circuit. 316. That is Micro J's. He's got to stop and go as well. So there is Duffin. He's clearing the cars in front. But he's going to be behind Nova still, but he's not going to lose massively because they will all have to come in and stop again. DJ Phil and Playman are off at Degner too, as both of them are waiting to get back on track. DJ Phil is waiting for Playman. Oh, Playman nearly gets in the way of MB Pitts and Dean Wasocki. These guys get going once again, but Nova has gone green now. Where is Gray? There he is. He's doing his stop. But Matt is really not going to gain anything out of this. Michelle's already gone through, so Nova has lost out massively there. But DJ Phil and Playman dropping back. GT Jimbo still leading away from BD Boy and Craig in P3. So Craig, staying out of trouble, has managed to work his way up. Cranky Duckhead currently 4th. Yes, that is Duffin ahead of him, but he is a lap down and is trying to work his way through the order. It is now Flem Speed 1 up into 5th place, which is what he needs. He needs to score as many points, while Duffin and Nova are at the back of the pack. And I'm pretty sure he'll have the stream going and he'll be hearing me saying that they are struggling, and that this will be his prime opportunity now to score some big points as he continues on through. His BD Boy who comes into the pits now. Goudet has now up to the pits, and Cola and the new boy carries on through. He was 7th at the minute with Tucker 8th, Dean 9th, MB Pitts in 10th, Wasocki 11th, Playman and DJ Phil dropping to the back of the pack and still going at it. So a quick rundown as we come down to 11 minutes left of the race. It is GT Jimbo with the fastest lap and leading the way, with B Craig currently in 2nd, the Cranky Duckhead in 3rd, Flem Speed 1 in 4th, with Edie Colin currently sat in 5th place. We've got M Tucker 6th, MB Piss in 7th, Dean Wasocki 8th, Playman 9th, ahead of DJ Phil in 10th. Nikita, the first of the pitters, currently in 11th place, with BD Boy in 12th. Goudet been released, he's 13th, Dean 14th, Max Mulder is up to 14th place. Will they stay ahead of Davis? That is the question, as Micro J's is serving his stop. There is Dean, he's not been released, so it is Davis back up into 16th place position. Michelle, Nova, Richie's dropped right back, has got Duffin right behind him. So Matt needs to get past him because Nova obviously will clear Jay's. But Duffin wants to get every single point he could possibly get. We go back to the Lamborghini battle of DJ Phil and Playman. And right now you see Dean Wasaki struggling with his car. We are at the halfway stage, so we shall stop the poll there. Majority reckon that GT Jimbo is going to win this one. And at the minute it's looking very good. Peaceful Stepdad in the chat, nice to see him here. Meanwhile, Max Mulder is right on the rear wing of John Goudet. And I say that, he's actually gone past him as he drops the rear end a little bit there, and the back end steps out. Duffin has now gone past Richie. He is now looking to try and hunt down Micro J's. Nova, though, into Degner 1, while Matt is only now crossing the start-finish line. It's been a bit of a dramatic start to this race. Flem Speed 1, though, has already caught the cranky Duckhead, as they now head down towards turn 1. Still 6 minutes left of the pit window, as Colin and Tucker now up to stop. But we look to this fight, Porsche versus Honda. So what can Flem Speed do here? Really difficult to find a way through in the S's. You've got to be patient, you've got to take your time to find the gap. But it's not happening at the minute. DJ Phil is still pressurizing Playman, who's got he's got Dean Wasaki, who ran a bit wide on the exit of turn 2. There's Flem Speed's invitation to the inside of the Dunlop curb, but he's not quite far enough alongside. He hasn't quite got enough grunt in the Porsche as they headed towards Degner 1 and Degner 2. So Matt is now on the hunt from Micro J's to score as many points as he possibly can. But Flem Speed is on his way to possibly get himself on the podium here. Oh, he looked to the inside of the hairpin, but he thought better of it. And right now, this is not what Flem wants to be doing. He does not want to be making contact with any other cars. This is a prime opportunity for to score big points against his championship rivals and really take it to Spa and Kyalami. Where Spa, we're looking at the BMW to be the strongest, Kyalami, the Porsche to be the strongest. And it all depends on the weather. John Goudet is sticking with Max Mulder, though, as well. Matthew Duffin is bringing that gap down to Micro J's. He goes into a 130R. We go back to the Flem Speed and Cranky Duckhead fight. And Cranky Duckhead goes to defend the inside of 130R. Flem looks, but it's really tricky corner to really attack on. It's really nailing it to try and attack the chicane, and he thinks better of it once again. Cranky Duckhead just doing enough to stay in front. And a great race so far from these guys as Flem Speed now pits, and a great strategy call there because he was going to get stuck behind them as B. Craig also comes into the pits. DJ Phil is still behind Playman, who they've got Nikita right behind them as well, and they're all stuck behind Dean Wasaki now. As we say hi to Tracy in the chat. Hit that like button, people. That's exactly right, Tracy. But right now, Dean Wasaki trying to hold on to this lead, but he's opting to pit. He comes straight in. Playman and DJ Phil have come together. They're in the wall. Both Lamborghinis are in the wall. Playman's trying to get his span around as best he can. This is great opportunity for other people who haven't stopped yet. BD Boy goes through. Max Mulder goes through as Playman is struggling to get it facing the right way. And I believe contact with DJ Phil. DJ Phil has gone into the pits, and you can see all these cars going through. Davis, meanwhile, is doing quite a good job working his way back up the order as Flem Speed has released, and he stayed behind Nikita and B. Craig. So Nikita looking very good at the minute, with a very clean air at the minute. There's really going to be an interesting stop between him and GT Jimbo. I think maybe not as close, I think, as the 32. Dean Wasaki has got to stop and go. He now returns back on track ahead of Nova and Michelle. But he'll be coming in to serve that stop and go. And Nova right on the back of Dean Wasaki, and he looks straight to the inside of the S's, but he can't quite get far enough alongside. Meanwhile, Duffin is working his way onto the back of Micro J's. He's not quite close enough. He might get his teammate a little bit later on. Meanwhile, Max Mulder came out right behind Flem Speed, who's got a little bit of damage to the front end of his car, as Max Mulder looks to attack the inside of the hairpin. No contact is made. Flem Speed gets away with it. and moves on through. He needs to stay ahead of that McLaren and try and gain as much advantage over the Cranky Duckhead. Meanwhile, GT Jimbo is just going for it out front with fastest lap after fastest lap. He is pulling away out in front. Cranky Duckhead must respond to Flem speed, and he has done. Straight to the pits, get it slowed down. That's going to be way too fast, as I'm pretty sure the Cranky Duckhead will get a stop and go now for going way too fast into the pits. Nikita, meanwhile, with those guys out of his way, he now comes under the back of MB Pits, who should be coming into the pits anytime soon, and it is now he's choosing to pit. As E. Colon is now bringing the gap down to Davis, but we also go back to, Dean Wasoki's had a moment. He's had a moment just going up to Spoon. Where's Michelle? Michelle's dropped right off of these two, so possibly some contact involved, maybe, as Nova goes a bit wide out to Spoon. Meanwhile, Duffin, 4.3 behind Micro J's. He's hunting him down. And with Playman and DJ Phil having some incidences, as we got another stop and go, as I thought the Cranky Duckhead a little bit too fast, and he comes back out on track, and Flem Speed did stay ahead, as actually Max Mulder's got ahead of Flem Speed as well. So Flem really struggling to keep the McLarens behind him, but you can see already how strong the McLarens have looked here. As you got Beady Boy in P4, we got B. Craig, and then Max Mulder. All three McLarens looking very, very solid round here. Beady Boy, after a very good start to his Simplay career, he's looking even better at Suzuka here. As we see here, GT Jimbo now has to pit this lap, and into the pits he comes. Nikita, though, in P2, a solid P2 at that, looked very good. Beady Boy is still under pressure from Craig. Meanwhile, Max Mulder is still under pressure from Flem Speed. Flem Speed needs every single point he can get. And Davis, working his way back up to 9th, was a good job from him, as Beady Boy just makes a slight mistake, and through goes Craig. The Cranky Duckhead has to serve a stop and go as well, so that's another place for the likes of Davis, Colin, Tucker, Dean, and MB Pitts as well. The 66 has cleared their stop and go, and that is Ian Gray. So that's another point and position for Duffin. But now Max Mulder is on the back of BD Boy. Meanwhile, Nikita is in the final chicane while GT Jimbo has got going. There's Dean Wasaki. Where is Duffin? He's already gone through, so Dean Wasaki has dropped right down the order. The Cranky Duck. Oh, the Cranky Duckhead's had a big moment, and he's in the middle of the circuit. And yeah, a lot of the guys have to just be careful. And he's returned to the pits, so that's more points for for Duffin. But GT Jimbo leads the way. Everyone's done their pit stops, and Max Mulder has got himself up into the top 3 now. But here comes Flem Speed. He's looking to make a move on Beady Boy, but he can't quite get far enough alongside. That Porsche not strong enough in a straight line. He has to try and get it done in the corners. Tucker's back into the pits. Has he got damage? So again, more points for Duffin. And while all these cars return to the pits, Flem Speed needs to clear more cars. The more cars retiring, the more and more points Duffin and Nova will get back. Nova's already back in the top 12. MB Pitts is just ahead of him, so he'll get himself back into the top 10. But Flem Speed really needs to get past the McLarens and try and score some decent points. Duffin now up into 15th, and he's probably not going to get any higher than that. Into the hairpin they go. GT Jimbo, he is currently going down the back straight, heading towards 130R. Meanwhile, Duffin is still on a lead lap now, so he'll be able to try and get some stragglers if they make any mistakes. So we'll see how that all pans out. But Colin's on the back of Davis. He's giving him a hard time, but we go back to this squabble. Mulder, BD Boy, and Flem Speed. And Flem Speed won in the Porsche 992. Looking to try and capitalise on these McLarens, but can't do so.
Leaders on final lap.
GT Jimbo starts his final lap. He's going to make it 3 for 3. Maybe I'll start putting a restrictor on him from choking. But Flem Speed 1 into the chicane he goes. He's on the back end of the BD Boy McLaren. Very, very difficult to overtake around here. It's probably turn one is your best opportunity, or in the final chicane. But he's still looking for a way through. And he needs to gain every point he can possibly get. Meanwhile, Davis and Colin are having a good fight. Colin on his first appearance here started last. He's now currently 8th. So a good job from him. Nova has already got past MB Pitt, so he is now in the top 10. Will he get Dean before the end? That is the question. And Flemspeed is still stuck behind BD Boy. And Flemspeed looks to the outside, can't get the job done there. He then looks towards Degner 1, and BD Boy's gone wide. That's the invitation he needed. And then Flemspeed 1 goes up into P4. It's exactly what he needs. Now it is Craig and Mulder going at it just ahead. Can they squabble a bit more so that they can get Flemspeed? It's not probably going to happen. But GT Jimbo coming down towards 130R. Monza was a double win. Not quite the Grand Slam. He missed out on the pole. But he starts off Suzuka tonight with a fantastic way. Ferrari back on top once again. It is going to be the green of GT Jimbo exiting the final corner. He wins round 15 here at Suzuka. GT Jimbo, fastest lap and race win for the sprint. Congratulations to him. It is now down to the McLaren duo of Craig and Mulder. Mulder has a moment going through 130R, but he seems to have a better run than Craig. He looks to the inside, he goes to the outside of the chicane, into the casino triangle. Mulder, Craig, Mulder. Who's it going to be? Merlot, BTC. It's McLaren. McLaren is coming to the line. Mulder. Drag race to the line as it comes all the way down to the bottom. It's Craig just at the end there. Flemspeed 1, not quite there. Flemspeed's made a mistake. BD Boy faced the wrong way. John Goudet goes up into P4. Flemspeed is going to finish 5th. Colin on his first appearance in 6th. BD Boy is dropping down the order. It's going to be Davis for P7 as he's got to go all the way down to the bottom. Yeah, he's lifted. Davis lifted too early. He goes P8, loses out to Dean. Nova goes 9th. BD Boy in 10th. MB Pitts in 11th. DJ Phil is going to finish in 12th place. Dean Wasocki finishing 18th. What a dramatic end to Suzuka there. Suzuka sprint. DJ Phil 12th. Guys forgetting that they think it's Formula 1. And they go into the first line. But Duffin with a great recovery, though. I know it's not what he probably would have wanted, but with the major damage he had and being a lap down 13th and not 21st, you know, you got to take what you can. But he will take 13th place position. And just remember, Matt, you got Spa to come. And obviously we'll go into the feature race where you can claw some points back. But yeah, Matt Duffin not happy with that one. Micro J's is going to come home in 14th place position. Playman is going to finish in 15th. Richie is going to finish in 16th place position with Ian Gray in 21st. But it is once again the Ferrari on top of GT Jimbo taking the win here in the sprint. What a dramatic end to the sprint race there. All sorts of chaos happening. But once again, it is Ferrari on top with GT Jimbo. Craig finishing in 2nd and Max Mulder in 3rd. Goudet for 4th. Flemspeed 5th. 6th was Colin on his first appearance. Dean in 7th. Davis 8th. Nova 9th. And BD Boy rounding off your top 10. And who are we still waiting to finish? It is, I'm not sure who we're waiting for. I think that is the end of the session. Yeah, it is. Not sure who we're waiting for, but that is it for the sprint. We'll be back in a few moments' time with the feature and qualifying as well. So we shall see you in a little bit.
Colin. Sick.
What on earth was that?
An absolute shit show.
From start to end, that was a shit show from the lot of you. What happened to you at the start?
32 points behind on the constructors. Who, me?
And then you got hit by Michelle.
Yeah. Span right. 1 minute, 10 seconds. My wheel were like
fucking hell. I don't know. I don't know. I came
points behind him. Fucking constructors, man.
I don't know. I came away from him. No idea. I thought for a second then that Flem Speed 1 was going to gain some big points in that. It's alright, Matt. It's one race.
Nah, fucking... Oh.
It happens. It happens, man.
I need a wee.
It's the sprint race. This is the problem with PROAM. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You just leave it. Just put the ticket in and just walk away. You leave it to the stewards that don't need to say anything. Don't need to say nothing. You just go, there you go. There's my evidence. That's what I want. Look, that done. And then you just wait to see the decision.
I'll 100% put him one in.
Oh, if he just hit you at the start, he went on to get a third at the end then. So... Yeah. Yep. I'd put it in. BD boy. I think they had an incident. What did he do? Yeah. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, I've seen that. My
Well,
way.
hopefully the feature race will be better. You did a good recovery though, Dad. I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. He's too busy having a shit while having a rant. Alright, well, I'm going to go for a piss. That is probably the messiest Pro-Am race I've seen yet. That was poor. Where's he gone? Well, anyway, I'm going back to the comms box. Best of luck, boys.
I was
Holy fucking shit. Max bloody Mulder. Hello. Hello, mate. How are you doing? I take it you got your mic settings set so you can be heard. God, I haven't spoken.
Got it on.
Good man. God, I haven't spoken to you in a long, long time.
Yeah, I didn't score podiums a long time.
Well, too busy. It's not a Formula One car anymore, is it?
Nah, and also not Project Cars anymore.
No, not Project Cars, not Formula One. Although we might be doing a Formula One event.
Oh, but I'm very bad on the new game.
Yeah.
No. Like in a league, I am P22 at the moment. And
Yeah.
that's like where I normally was top 10 or something, so that's not my game.
We're possibly thinking of doing a fun event over the off season. The 100% of Monaco.
Oh,
Yeah, because
I
we're
know if I
doing
will be there then.
we're doing the Triple Crown. So Gary's won the Indy 500. So we want to see if anyone can actually do all three. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Well done
Is
in
it
that
also
race, mate.
going to be a Le Mans or?
Yeah, there'll probably be a Le Mans. I'm not sure what we're going to do it on yet. We're not going to do the whole of 24 hours. We'll probably just do a 2.4 or something.
And what game is that?
Not sure yet. We're looking at either Gran Turismo or Project Cars.
I hope Project Cars. I got lap time 11th of the world at the moment at Le Mans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're not sure yet. We'll be looking into it. We probably won't be doing the hypercars or the LMP ones. We'll probably just do LMP2, so they're a bit more like level.
Shit.
Sorry, dude. Because everyone will just pick the same car otherwise, you know. At least then we can have different liveries, different colours, different everything, you know. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on Discord and see what happens.
Okay.
But yeah, God, it's weird chatting to you. I haven't chatted to you in a long time.
Man, it was crazy. First I hit some guys on the start. I think it was my fault, so maybe going to get a penalty. But then I got spinned around, then I fight back to podium. That was insane.
What happened at the end? Do you know?
Where?
With Flem speed and all. Do you know? Did you see what happened?
No, I know.
BD boy. Are they behind you, weren't they? They were behind.
Yeah.
There was just a bit of chaos towards the end of that race. Right, we are going to go live in a few moments' time. I'll do your interview quickly so you can jump back into qualifying. But okay, no quali ban for you, so that's fine. You can try and do a qualifying lap at the same time. It's up to you. But I will do you as quickly as possible. All right.
Yep.
Where are you on the grid? There you are, right at the bottom. Who's on a lap? Jesus, come on. Oh, Jesus, Richie actually completed the lap as well. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Simplay Motorsport. We're going to do a quick interview with one of the podium boys, and it is a man we haven't heard for a while, probably since the Formula One days of Simplay Motorsport, and it is the BTC Jaeger Racing McLaren driver of Max Mulder. And Max, a very interesting race there at Suzuka. A lot of carnage, a lot of chaos going on, but you got yourself onto the podium. I believe it was a P3, and yeah, 3 on the side of your car, 3 on the track. And tell me about your race, because that looked chaotic.
Yeah, it was. At the start, I made a little mistake. I hit some cars. I hope I didn't crash a lot of cars. And then I got spun around by someone, and then I was last place, and then I fighted back to the podium.
How is the McLaren feeling around Suzuka? I think it's a car that definitely suits this track, a lot of high downforce, and needs a lot of grip. How is the car feeling in general?
Well, for me, I don't like the grip at the back. It's sliding a lot, but I was not finding the good thing in the setup for that, so been struggling a little bit.
Okay, we head into qualifying and then into the feature race. What is the plan going into this? Are you going to try and get as high up as possible and try and carry on from where you left off from the sprint, or is it just kind of just survive and see where you come out of that?
Well, I think if I get a good qualifying, I can start top 5, and then I hope I can fight for the podium. But yeah.
Well, congratulations on the P3 there, mate. I said I'd make it quick so you can get out and qualify. So congratulations on third, mate, and best of luck for the qualifying and feature.
Thank you.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Max Mulder, hasn't heard from him in quite a while, and there you go. He's in the top 3, and just as he gets himself back into the car to go out for qualifying, all the other guys come flying around the final corner to start their laps. Right, regarding the championship standings, it looks like this. It's definitely getting closer and closer between the top 3. Matthew Duffin still leads the way, but he has only got a 4-point gap over Nova. It is getting closer and closer. What was a 40-point gap is now a 24-point gap for Flem Speed. He's bringing the gap back down. A couple more places and he probably would have looked even better for the championship. It is getting closer between the top 3. John Goudet actually gaining some points as well. He's only 97 off the back of them as well, so he's slowly cooping himself in, but I think, again, he's going to be mathematically out of this very, very shortly. Your P3 man, Max Mulder, finishing in fifth in the championship at the minute, with Michelle currently P6, Tucker in P7 and still mathematically in it, but he needs to be outscored by 2 points and he will be out of the championships. Then it's Ian Gray in P8 with B. Craig in P9. DJ Phil still ahead of his teammate Kelly Davis in P10, but not by much. It is only 6 points separating those two. Davis in 11th with Dean sat in 12th, Nikita in 13th. Micro J's goes ahead of his teammate P. Raiden now in 14th place position with him in 15th. Winter drops to 16th with GT Jimbo working his way up to 17th. Fat Bloke is in 18th. Playman 19th with Leon Fernie up to 20th. Dean Wasocki in 21st. With Storson in 22nd, Josa in 23rd, Richie in 24th, Cranky Duckhead in 25th, with MB Piss in 26th position. Johns in 27th, John Andrews 28th, Evans 29th, Allsbrook 30th, BD Boy 22, 31st, Michelle in 32. 33rd is Colin, Pearson, Finesse, and Ducky, Warfare, and ZZI, who have not actually made in a single appearance this season. Regarding the manufacturer, the teams, it is Greasy Bandits still leading the way, now gone back in front of head of Jaeger Motorsport. They've now got a 32-point gap over them in second place position. FSO Racing in P3 with Bullet Bandits in P4. P5 is Team Merlot. P6 is Team Audio Sport Remix, who's brought that gap down to Team Merlot ever so slightly. We have Iceni Motorsport in P7 ahead of Team Richie Corsa, who's bringing that gap down with BTC at Jaeger Racing in P9. FBR boys are still mathematically in it, but I do feel after this race they will be out of the championship in P10 with a Red Dragon Racing in 11th place position. regarding the manufacturers. It's McLaren, Ferrari, with BMW now dropping to P3, Lamborghini P4, P5 is Porsche, P6 is Aston Martin, P7 Mercedes, Bentley 8th, 9th is Audi, 10th is Honda, and Nissan is in 10th place position. That is your championship standings for the Pro-Ams after the sprint. And we now go into qualifying, and it is Matthew Duffin setting the pace at 2:02.1 is the pace, with GT Jimbo in second, Nova is now in P3, Craig in P4, Michelle P5, DJ Phil currently P6, Colin in P7, and Playman in P8. Now, I'm going to try my very, very best to try and get these drivers coming in the final chicane. But in the chat, we've got Anthony Walsh saying, good, looking forward to the race too, as are we. It's going to be an exciting one. Guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss a single thing here at Simplay Motorsport. And while you're at it as well, head down into the description below and see our fantastic sponsors, Design Manchester, Audio Sport, and also Bozzy Designs as well. To see all those fantastic sponsors and all their links below as well, head over to the bio. And also, while you're at it, go onto our Instagram page, give us a follow on there, a like and subscribe to our TikTok and all those wonderful things, and be a part of the action here. And if you do want to be a part of the action here at Simplay Motorsport, head over to the SimGrid, get yourself signed up, and in the Discord as well. I believe the Discord is in the description below. As Flemspeed comes to the line now to set a lap time, and he goes P6. Nova, meanwhile, was on the lap. He is currently 4/10 off, and he does not improve. There is Davis in the background, and he does not set a lap time. Who's there next to set a lap? It is the 666 of Ian Gray. Then it is Michelle right behind him, as Michelle goes to the line and goes fastest. He goes 36 thousandths ahead of Duffin. The number 18, I believe, crossing the line. It was the 18 of Playman, and he stays P10. It's the 888 now coming to the line of Nikita in P2 in that race. Kind of out of the radar, kept himself quiet, and had a very, very good race there, did Nikita. The best of the BMWs. He's going to come across the line now and go P6. Now it's John Goudet to the line. And where is he at the minute? And I can't even find him. John Goudet. I've actually lost him. He's 11th. There we go, in 11th place. We now wait for the next car to come to the line, and I believe it is something beginning with a 3. I know that. The 32 of... no, it's not 32 of Dean Masaki. 23. I knew it was something 3. It is Tucker coming to the line. Currently 8th at the minute in the McLaren, and so far, me saying the McLaren looking like the best car, and currently not fastest at the minute. He only stays in P8. We've got an 8, something ending in an 8. So this is going to be great for me to see. It is Dean. I'm going to get good at this now. The 38 coming to the line is then going to be the 78, next to complete a lap time. Here comes Dean to the line. Any improvement? He does. He goes 10th. Then it's going to be Beady Boy in the McLaren coming to the line. Is he getting a lap time on the board? He does. He goes 13th. Then it's Flemspeed 1 in the Porsche. Makes me easier to see them because they got the grey numbers. Flemspeed to the line. He now goes 5th with Nova. Any reaction from him? No improvement, as Craig goes up into P3. Then it is Davis just behind them. He gets a lap time on the board, which puts him 11th. He's got GT Jimbo right behind him and goes fastest of them all. He does a low 2:01 as Michelle crosses the line and gets within 6/10. So GT Jimbo carrying on from where he left off. He's on pole this time. As the 53 of DJ Phil goes to 13th place. Now we look to the P3 man of the sprint race. It is Max Mulder. He's currently coming to the line. Number 3 on the car. Where's it put him? 2nd. So Max Mulder in the McLaren showing it's got pace around here, as we then look to the number 7 of Richie in the Ferrari. Going to get up there with his teammate. Currently 3rd at the minute is his teammate. Richie to the chicane. Oh, probably a little bit late on the brakes, but the Ferrari is compliant. It is working. It is able to go with him. He exits the final corner. Where is this going to put Richie overall? He comes to the line now, and it goes 11th place as it stands. Next one on a lap looks like the 38 to me of Dean. It is Dean as he comes up to a 130R. We've got a car off. That is the 47 of Colin. He's had a moment somewhere in the S's. But Dean on a lap. Through the chicane he comes. As we've got the last 5 minutes of qualifying left. And Dean coming to complete a lap time here. And is it going to be near the top? And no improvement. It is then John Goudet who's on a lap, and he does not improve. Flem Speed 1 flashing the lights. He's currently coming to the line, and no improvement from him. Nova now looking to the line. Is he going to improve? He goes P4. He just goes ahead of Duffin, who is on a lap. No, he's on an invalid lap at the minute. So Matthew Duffin not on a flying at the minute. But he will be now as Michelle in the background. 6/10 off. Does he find any more time? No, he does not. Some very quick times here from the Pro-Am drivers. Can the pros match this later on? GT Jimbo has returned to the pits. He's like, yep, I'm done. I can't do any more than that. But Max Mulder to the line. Half a second off. And he gets within he just gets within under a tenth. 2/10, sorry. And he returns to the side, and pretty much that is all he's got by the looks of things. As we now look to the number 7 of Richie, who's currently on a lap. Into the final chicane he comes. And you can hear the Ferrari working hard as he goes through the chicane. Out the final corner he goes. And towards the line comes Richie. And he goes up to P10, a small improvement from him. Who we now look to next. It is Flem Speed 1 in the Porsche. And I think that might... Nope, it's just validated his lap. So Flem Speed 1 into 130R. Could really do with being with his championship rivals. It's a lot to ask from this Porsche. But if anyone can drag it around, it can be Flem Speed. Into the final chicane he goes. Down towards the start-finish line. Flem Speed 1, any improvement? He finds a couple of tenths, but nothing really impressive. Craig and Tucker coming to the line. Craig, no improvement. Tucker, no improvement either. Now it's Davis to the line. He finds some time, but doesn't go anywhere higher. Duffin is on a lap. No improvement either. DJ Phil just further back. Currently 15th and slower than his teammate. And no improvement for DJ Phil either. So they're all coming thick and fast. Now it is Dean Wasocki next to the line. Currently 5.5 off the pace. And he has no improvement. Colin next to the line. Currently 18th and no improvement either for him. We've got the 666 of Ian Gray. No improvement. Nova to the line. No improvement. So we've got no cars on a lap at the minute. I believe it is the 22 of Davis possibly on the first lap. No, it's Tucker on the first valid lap. So we'll stay on board with him. But a great lap time from GT Jimbo. And he's kind of just gone, yep, that's me done. I can't do any more than that. And no, he's actually come back out again. So him and Max Mulder both coming out and trying to get some space. But it is going to be Tucker who is on the first valid lap at the minute. And Duffin just behind them. I'm looking at Duffin's delta at the minute. He's not improving at this stage. And I think this is where the weight is starting to affect all three championship contenders. All these guys have been let loose around them. And they're starting to do quicker times. With only 52 seconds left to go. Matt is on the cusp. He's right where he needs to improve. He found some time in Spoon. Can he keep that momentum going? Meanwhile, Tucker. Exits of 130R. Into the chicane. And he misses the chicane. That is his lap time gone. Is he going to get one more lap in? That is the question. He should be able to. He'll get a good exit out of the chicane. For sure, as now Davis comes to the line. Currently 2.6 off the fastest. What can he find here? any improvement? I'm pretty sure Duffin is not on an improvement. Davis doesn't improve. Duffin won't improve either. So who is next to the line? It is the 53. That is DJ Phil, and he doesn't improve either, but he does sneak one more lap in. So this is the last laps. DJ Phil, last one to set a lap time. Here comes Colin. Any improvement on 18th? He does. He goes up to 15th. It is then Ian Gray next to the line, and he only goes 8th fastest. Who is then next to come on a lap? It is Beady Boy in the background. I can't find Beady Boy. There he is. To the line he comes. 3.6. No, he goes up into 16th place position. Then we look to the 8 of John Goudet. And he only goes 17th. That's how much the Mercedes is struggling around here. The 222 is the next car on a lap. That is GT Jimbo. And he's trying to stay ahead of this man, Max Mulder. GT Jimbo to the line. Is it going to be further damage? 176. Is it going to be more? No improvement. It's now down to Max Mulder. No improvement either. So now look to the back end of the circuit. Flem Speed 1 on a lap time. Davis is back in the pits. We look to Flem Speed. As Flem Speed 1 tries to get a good exit, tries to come to the final corner now. Duffin is still on his lap time. Can he find that couple of tenths that he needs? Flem Speed, any improvement? No, he does not improve. It is just down to Duffin. And I don't think he's going to improve here. He comes to the line and he's backed out of it straight away. So it is only DJ Phil left on a time. And DJ Phil comes across the line now, 3.5, second to last slowest, and he'll stay there in 18th place position. Obviously, Leon Fernie, Micro J's, MB Pitts, Cranky Duckhead all had qualifying bans, so they'll start from the back of the pack. But it is the Ferrari of GT Jimbo. Can he do what he couldn't do at Monza, which is a Grand Slam? Pole position, fastest lap, both race wins, both fastest laps. That would be an impressive feat as he manages to do that. But it's going to be GT Jimbo on the front row with Max Mulder. Ferrari versus McLaren. With R. Michelle in P3. It's going to be Nova P4, first of the championship contenders, with Duffin in P5, Craig in P6, Nikita P7, Gray P8, Flem Speed 1, a lot of work to do in P9, with Richie in P10, Tucker P11, Davis in P12, Dean in 13th, Playman 14th, Colin in 15th place position, with Beady Boy 16th, Goudet in 17th, DJ Phil 18th, Dean Wasaki 19th, the Cranky Duckhead in 20th position, with MB Pitts 21st, Micro J's 22nd, and Leon Fernie bringing up the back of the pack. Let's get a poll going for you guys. Who do you think is going to win the next race? That is the question. As we'll start a poll. Guys got 30 seconds to get themselves all ready to go. But it is M. Mulder and GT Jimbo sharing the front row. Obviously, if you guys don't agree with who I think is in the chance for winning this race, then please put your vote in on the chat. And there is your poll, ladies and gentlemen. Get involved. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here at Simplay Motorsport. Mind you as well, tomorrow night will be the pros. They will make their efforts here at Suzuka, the lovely, beautiful, clear skies of Suzuka. Hopefully it's like that in Suzuka right now in Formula 1. But it's a 45-minute feature race with a pit stop is required. If you haven't done so, also have a look in our description at our fantastic sponsors. Design Manchester, Body Designs, and Audio Sport as well. So go and have a look at all of them. Give them a like and follow on their channel or Instagram, Facebook, whatever they're on, give them a follow. And like I said, we're getting to the business end of the season. 2 races after tonight, we head to the iconic Spa-Francorchamps for the penultimate round of the season. And the weather is looking interesting. We'll see how interesting it gets. But it is looking like there could be more affection in the weather. And we finish things off in South Africa. We head to Kyalami for the final race of the season finale. And what a race it is going to be. It is pretty much down to 3, although Goudet has managed to claw himself back in it ever so slightly, but it's looking more and more like it is the top 3 going for gold. It is GT Jimbo, who though is on pole position, ahead of Max Mulder, ahead of Michelle, ahead of your first contenders. It is Nova with his championship rival right behind him, Duffin, with Craig in P6, Nikita P7, Ian Gray P8, Flemspeed, Richie, Tucker, Davis, Dean, Playman, Colin, BD Boy, Goudet, Dean, DJ Phil, Dean, Cranky Duckhead, MB Pitts, Fernie, and Micro Jays. That is your grid order. Guys, let's see you supporting the championship contenders. Let's see who you are on. Are you a Duffin fan? Are you a Nova fan? Or are you a Flem Speed fan? We'll get a poll out later on this evening with the 2 last races of the season coming up. We will see who the fans think is going to take the championship with only 2 rounds to go. Flem Speed's got a lot of work to do tonight if he wants to try and keep himself in this hunt. He's going to struggle at Spa because it's a power circuit. The BMW should look at strong at Spa. But this is where Nova needs to claw some decent points in his McLaren. As they head into the Casino Triangle. As they head up towards, for the 16th time this season, 2x2 at the final corner here in Japan, the land of the rising sun. Suzuka, round 16, the feature race, Ferrari versus McLaren, GT Jimbo versus Max Mulder. We now wait for the green. And we are green here at Suzuka. And already a few cars are fanning themselves out of the pack as they head into turn 1. And it's Max Mulder swooping around the outside as he leads into turn 2. Everyone else trying to work their through the order and relatively clean going through turn 2 as they all negotiate up towards the S's, the danger zone, as they all try and funnel themselves into a formation. But it is Max Mulder leading the way from GT Jimbo, from Nova, from now Michelle. Duffin's stuck behind the Ferrari, but they're all working their way through the order. Flemspeed is looking to try and make his way up the order as well. A few cars, looks like a slow McLaren there has got going again and trying to stay out of the way where everyone else works their way through, but a relatively clean run through there. Everyone surviving in the first couple of laps, but it is Max Mulder from GT Jimbo as the times are updating. Nova not quite onto the back of the top 2. They now disappear into the distance as he's got his own troubles further behind. As Michelle goes down the inside of Nova and tries to get the job done. We look to that as Michelle is trying to put pressure on the McLaren driver. Meanwhile, Duffin is just sat behind watching it all unfold, and Michelle not quite able to get the job done as they head up towards Spoon. So Michelle looking like he was putting pressure on Nova for a split second, but now he's under pressure himself by Duffin, and Matt will want to clear Michelle as quickly as possible so he can stick with his championship contender. But Max Mulder leading the way with a fairly comfortable lead now over GT Jimbo. It is Michelle versus the BMW of Duffin as they go through 130R, and Matt has to fall in place and follow him through. Flemsby won already up into 7th place. As you can see, not the best qualifier, but he's very good in the race and he's already made some places. Meanwhile, GT Jimbo is already caught right on the back end of Max Mulder once again. These two need to just disappear into the distance and allow the rest to squabble. But can Max Mulder steal that Grand Slam away? As now the positions all fall into place. It's Mulder from GT Jimbo, Nova, Michelle, Duffin, Flemspeed has got past Craig already, Nikita, Richie, Gray, Davis, Playman, Goudet, Dean, Wasaki, Fernie, Colin, Green, Micro J's, BD Boy, MB Pitts, Cranky Duckhead, and Tucker with the damage to the front end of his car. Into the dirty air of the cars as they try and swoop their way around the S's, and it's all been relatively clean so far, other than Tucker, who's had an issue further back as Leon Fernie looking to make a move on Dean Wasaki. Can't seem to find an opening at this stage. But Max Mulder setting fastest lap of the race because he's led the race. As there we see Matthew Duffin is now putting pressure on on Michelle. Michelle's made a mistake, ran wide at Degner 2. Can Matt get it stopped and turned in and stopped Michelle? Yes, he has, and he moves up another place. He now tries to hunt down Nova. Now Flemspeed is on the back of Michelle. Meanwhile, further back, Nikita is trying to defend from Ian Gray, from Davis, and Davis looks like he's up alongside. No, not quite, as Dean Wasaki's gone off. But Davis now looking to make a move on Nikita. No, sorry, Gray. And Max Mulder usually has a great start to a race and it all seems to unfold, but this time he hasn't got a drive through, hasn't got a stop and go so far, so it's looking good for him. Nova, meanwhile, was not quite able to stick with these two. I think that was Davis looking to make a move on Gray as they went up to 130R. No, he thinks better of it and stays in formation. As Duffin is struggling to... he's missed the chicane by the looks of things. And is struggling to keep Michelle behind him. But he's got Flemspeed right behind him as well. So your top three is in sight of one another. And Davis just dropped off the back of Gray at the minute. We've got Goudet who's attacking Playman. He's got his teammate right behind him, so after John's bad qualifying, he's got himself back up into 13th. And he looks to the inside, but thinks better of it and can't find a way past the Lamborghini driver. And they all work their way through the S's. DJ Phil a little bit wide further back. Meanwhile, Michelle is still on the back end of Duffin, but actually it is Flemspeed putting the pressure on the Ferrari driver. Is he going to try and do it in Degner 1? That's the question. Goudet still pressurising Playman. Leon Fernie is now on the back of Dean. Oh, he's made contact with Dean. Leon Fernie's gone around. Colin's been involved in that as well. And Dean manages to face the right way and gets going again. Oh, Micro J's has him over himself. But we look to Flemspeed, who's really hustling the back of Michelle right now. And Duffin looking like he's trying to bring that gap back down to Nova. Meanwhile, the top two still separated by 0.6 of a second. It's a great race so far if you're Max Mulder. Fastest lap to his name as well. Through Spoon they go. Flemspeed, again, not quite got the straight line speed as the Ferrari, but he's much better in the corners, as you can see there. A great exit out of Spoon. He's in the slipstream, but he's just going to be able to just sit there. He's not going to be able to do anything with it, and the weight on board is not helping him out massively. And you can see where the weight starts to affect the drivers. Nova and Duffin just can't go with the top two at the minute. And they're completely free of weight. Flemspeed looking to make a move on Michelle, but can't seem to do it. Ian Gray and Nikita are having moments themselves. They're trying to find a way past on Richie. And Davis is not too far behind. This is all for 8th, 9th, and 10th, and 11th place position. They're just within range of Craig as well. So if Craig makes a mistake, he is going to make the move. It was GT Jimbo who won the first race, James Ward. And GT Jimbo currently pressurizing Max Mulder at the minute. Right now, GT Jimbo, fastest lap again. If he takes the win, that will be the first man to do a Grand Slam this season. I don't think anyone's actually won both races to pole and both fastest laps. I think GT Jimbo would be the first in all categories. Nikita's had a moment. Where's David? Davis has had a moment. He's dropped right down the order. He's got to go in again. Maybe the rear went light as he's going through the pack. And you can see there, Davis has dropped behind. Michelle's had a moment as well. Michelle's dropped back. Where is Flemspeed? Doesn't look like he's got damage to his car, but Flemspeed's made a mistake. He has, sorry, not Flemspeed, it is, as you can see, the two BMWs really getting racy here. GT Jimbo, once again, within half a second of Mulder. But right now, Mulder is still able to absorb this pressure, take it in. Oh, and GT Jimbo's run wide. That's the dirty air of that McLaren, and that has got to be a track limits warning. Meanwhile, Matt has been bringing that gap down to Nova very, very slowly, but he has got it down. Your top three in the championship within range of one another. As Flemspeed goes a little bit deep in the chicane. And this is what we love to see. All three drivers with only 40 kilos on board, and they're all level playing field. And look at them, they're only separated by 4 seconds. Fantastic to see. GT Jimbo, the worst track to lose the lead on, is currently still trying to find a way past on Max Mulder, but can't find a way through at the minute. What else is going on further back? Davis has got back ahead of Micro J's. And now he looks to hunt on BD Boy. And a GT Jimbo still on the back of Max Mulder. No real threat there as Duffin has caught Nova pretty quickly. And into Degner 1 and 2 they go. Duffin really putting the pressure on him now. Excuse me. And if these two start tangling with one another, then it's Flemspeed who comes back into contention as well. So, although these two are fighting for it at the minute at the front with 4 points separating them, it is Flemspeed who's been slowly biting at their angles and coming back. Nikita is still looking to find a way past on the Ferrari. So we've got the Richie Corsa duo making a sandwich of BMWs right now. Nikita trying to find a way past on Richie. Gray trying to pass away on Nikita. And Michelle's joining in that pack. He really probably felt like he should have been higher up, but looked like he had an instant further back. Meanwhile, Duffin 3/10 behind Nova. This is where the BMW straight line advantage comes into play and goes into 130R. Nova's gone wide, I think. He has gone very wide, and Matt will know that. And that will be a warning for him. Matt has a great run through the chicane. He's right behind the McLaren driver. And look at this. Duffin, Nova, and Flemspeed 1 all together in one shot. 2.5 seconds separating them as Max Mulder is starting to extend that gap to a GT Jimbo. We now look to Nova and Duffin. Anything else going on? Gray is still behind Nikita. Leon Fernie's currently sat in 11th. Where is Davis and all this? He's now onto the back of BD Boy, who's trying to catch DJ Phil. We look to Colin, who looked like he was looking to make a move on Playman, and can't seem to find a way through there. Meanwhile, Duffin, Nova still going at it. Max Mulder takes fastest lap back. Colin still can't find a way through on Playman as they go through the S's. Really difficult to find a way through there as MB Pitts currently 22nd ahead of D. Wasaki, who is currently 23rd. We've not lost any drivers just yet. But Nikita putting more and more pressure into Richie now as they head up towards the hairpin. Probably a good opportunity to attack now, but not quite close enough. I do have Matt Stream right next to me to keep an eye on what's going on between him and Nova. But Flemspeed not really catching on to the back of them as quickly as I thought he would. As they're busy fighting, and it's allowing the top two to disappear. And I think GT Jimbo has just lost quite a bit of time to Max Mulder as they go through the split. Yeah, he's lost 4/10, so he's not lost a lot. But you can see there the BMW just creeping, not quite enough. And every time they run through the fast left-hander of a 130R, they start to get a little bit more and more cautious each time round. Duffin right on the back, but Flemspeed coming back. Here is Nikita. He's had a great run through there as Richie defends the inside, but he's gone very deep. So is Nikita. Gray now comes back onto the scene, but he's not quite close enough, and everything has calmed down and back to where it was. Davis is on BD Boy, who's on the back of DJ Phil. That inter-rivalry between the two Audio Sport drivers is continuing on as DJ Phil struggles through the chicane. Into the final corner, there you go. But Duffin still putting immense pressure on the back of Nova. And while this is all going on, Flemspeed is creeping slower and slower onto the back of him. 1.8 now. Oh, this is turning into a great championship fight between these three. Flemspeed doing everything he can to stay in this championship fight. Duffin is going to be pretty much in the engine of that McLaren in a minute. He's been stuck behind that car for a long, long time. How he's not been affected by it yet, yeah, but you can see Flems flying behind. He's absolutely rapid right now. Nikita and this squabble of cars all going at it. We will end the poll in a few moments' time, but it's Jimbo sandbagging to avoid ballast. He's only joined halfway through the season, so we haven't really been able to assess him really. So, but he is currently, he's only 6.2 ahead of this squabble of cars, which are all restricted. So he's got some pace underneath him still. Flemspeed, meanwhile, possibly under a second now between the top three. Duffin looking to the outside of 130R. That would be brave. That's Fernando Alonso style there, but he thinks better of it. And here comes Flemspeed. It is now within a second. Duffin's going to send it on the chicane, but he misses the brakes and has to get the position back. He gained an advantage. He's got to make sure he doesn't lose out to Flem. And Flemspeed's going to come through as well. So Duffin getting a little bit impatient there. Has now lost out not just to Nova, but to Flemspeed as well. As Flemspeed's made a mistake in sector 1. He's run wide. Duffin's going to look to the inside. And then going to be on the outside for the start of the S's. And Duffin works his way back ahead of him, and that's just allowed Nova to just pull a little bit of a gap. Oh, here we go. It is gloves off between the top three. Mulder's made a mistake, though, because here comes GT Jimbo. And the pit window has now opened. Has anyone opted to pit straight away? No, because they're all in the first part of the sector. I believe that's the 31 of Cranky Duckhead. He's come in, and I'm pretty sure Dean Masaki might come in as well. Yes, he will. But here is your championship fight. Nova, Duffin, Flemspeed, but also Mulder and GT Jimbo going for outright win. Tips in the chat, what a battle. Yeah, it's really hotting up, and you'll see Sky tomorrow night on the pro circuit as he's probably supporting his boy Max Mulder, who's trying to hang in there against GT Jimbo. So we've got a great fight for the front, and we've got the championship fight between these three. You cannot separate them with all three of them on 40 ballast worth a kilo. It is gloves off between these three. Mulder doesn't look like he's had the best X out of Spoon. He seems to be struggling at this stage. Meanwhile, Ian Gray and Nikita's got ahead of Richie finally. Ian Gray has dropped down the order with Michelle, and that's allowed Goudet and Fernie through. Fernie's got ahead of Goudet as well, so possibly an incident there. Colin is not a million miles off. Where is Davis? He's worked his way past... he's not quite got past BD Boy yet. But, yeah, some interesting fights going on up and down the grid. Leon Fernie's really working his way up. And now here's your championship fight. GT Jimbo's lost a little bit of time. Now the Cranky Duckhead's come back out of the pits. He's dropped right in front of the champion, the race leader. Nova, Duffin, Flemspeed, all into turn 1. Oh, this is going to hot up towards the end of the season. 3 drivers, 3 up for the championship. And Goudet straight into the pits. He's got an outside chance of winning this title, but he's still got to be in it. He's still got to score points, while these 3 could be too busy tripping over one another. I do like an underdog, but it is an outside chance. Davis, where's he? He's coming to the pits. A lot of drivers into the pits as well, so a lot pitting on that lap. We go back to your leaders, and I think the Cranky Duckhead has made life a little bit more difficult for Max Mulder, because he's now back under some immense pressure from GT Jimbo. Meanwhile, in the background, Nova, Duffin, and Flemspeed all catching now up to the Cranky Duckhead. We go back to GT Jimbo. Guys, hit that like button. These guys are absolutely sending it here tonight. No inch given whatsoever. Oh, Max Mulder's run wide, but GT Jimbo had his own little wobble, so Mulder got away with that one. Meanwhile, Nova struggling on Spoon. This is allowing Duffin to get really close to the back of him as he got up to 130R again. Nova has no choice but to defend the inside of 130R. It's not where Matt wants to be. He's not going to try around the outside, but you're going to have to do some championship moves to win this championship. Flemspeed is now looking to put pressure on Duffin as they go to the chicane. Duffin looks to try and get the inside of the chicane. He doesn't have it. No, Nova runs wide. They make contact. As Flemspeed opts to pit, which is probably the best idea here. Nova, Duffin, Nova. GT Jimbo's pitted as well. And Nova's dropped behind Matthew Duffin. But Nova's not going to make it easy for him. He's going to use the back of that BMW, try and find out what lines he's using that's better than his. But while these two have been squabbling, Flemspeed has come straight into the pits. Has this been an undercut? Has this been a great move that he needed? Flemspeed, he's got damage. I think he's repaired the damage as GT Jimbo's got going. As Max Mulder still leads this race from Matthew Duffin now from Nova. As oh no! Flemspeed won. 30 seconds stop and go. Speeding in the pit lane. Oh, just as he thought he was getting himself back into this championship fight, he has now got to stop and go. 47 as well. Colin, he's got to stop and go. Michelle coming down the straight as Goudet, the earlier pitter, has had quite a good stop and is working his way up the order. We will end the poll there. And it's a split decision between Mulder and GT Jimbo. But Mulder is leading. He's coming up to 130R now. What has happened to Nova? Nova's had a mistake. Nope, sorry. That's just I saw Dima Soki. My bad. Yeah, a little bit too excited now. So Max Mulder into the chicane. He needs to react to GT Jimbo. Now GT Jimbo's pitted. He needs to come in now and make that reaction. And he does so straight away into the pits. Get it stopped. Get it stopped. And I think he just about did. Duffin has to react to Flemspeed. And he does. Nova doesn't. Dirty air of the BMW probably affecting him. Now, what Nova would probably do if I was in his shoes is go long. But Flemspeed, with that stop and go, Matt reacting to a car that's not really in the fight now. Max Mulder's gone green. Where is GT Jimbo? He's into the chicane. This is going to be close because Mulder was quite far back in his box. Actually, no, Mulder's got it done easy, I think. Oh, no, there is GT Jimbo. He's up to speed. And Mulder goes into turn one. He's actually made a bit of a gap from GT Jimbo. So good stop from him. Duffin goes green. And where was Flem in all of that? He comes straight into the pits to serve his stop and go. That's his race done pretty much. And he's going to be kicking himself for that one. So Duffin and Nova is now gloves off between those two. So Nova is now your race leader from Craig. Max Mulder still leads the race from Nets, from the first of the pitters. So GT Jimbo still in that second place position as they're all coming into the pits. Flem Speed with the stop and go is going to be hurting him massively. Where is the rest of the guys feeding out? Your leaders are coming through. Davis has jumped his teammate. You'll be happy to be ahead of DJ Phil. And he's also ahead of Flem Speed. He's also ahead of a few others as well. So Davis working his way up the order. Slowly but surely. So it's going to be about, what does Nova do now? Does he go long and try and fight off the pressure of Duffin? He's obviously he's reacted to Flem Speed, who's now cleared his drive-through, which is just going to hurt him now. I think that's really... if Flem Speed looks back and goes that where I lost it is probably here at Suzuka, just going a little bit too fast into the pits, you would end up just being overcautious. Nova is going to go very long. He's going to try and use that clean air, but he's not really catching the cranky duck head at the minute. So he's probably going to have to pit soon, as there's still 7 minutes left of the pit window. And we'll get another poll going for you guys. But Suzuka once again has delivered with some fantastic racing. Race one was kind of a bit sketchy, but it's expected of this circuit. So we got Craig into the pits. He has gone green. So Duffin has gone through. Craig is just going to feed in behind Nikita. Goude's only now coming out of the final corner. So pretty much it's just the top two to pit now. What other fights going on? We got this gaggle of cars. Tucker, one of the earlier ones to pit. He's slowly worked his way up the order. And right now, Richie is right behind Tucker. Can he find a way through at this stage? As they head down towards turn one. Dean's just in the background as well. And they head towards the S's. Richie still hasn't been able to do anything about it. Meanwhile, Max Mulder still leads. He's got quite a comfortable gap over GT Jimbo. He's got quite a comfortable gap over Duffin. Now, Nova is into the pits. This is what's going to happen now. Colin's come back into the pits. So has he got big damage? Oh, he's got a service stop and go. That's why he is into the pit lane. Leon Fernie pits as well with only 4.5 minutes yet to go. Oh, sorry, 5 minutes left of the pit window. 20-minute race yet to finish. And after that, Flem Speed is in 19th. Such a good drive that he had to get himself some decent points, but it's going to affect him massively now. Nova is right at the end of the pit lane. Where is Duffin? He's coming down the straight now, and Nova's gone green. And he's going to go right up to the white line, and Duffin's going to go around the outside and back into net third place. So good job there from Matt to stay ahead, but also a good job from Nova to bring that gap down. 47 of Colin has cleared his stop and go. But Max Mulder still leads the way. He's got a 2.9 gap over GT Jimbo after all the pit stops. It is then Matthew Duffin in P3 with Nova in P4. Nova now going to try and everything he possibly can to try and work his way back past Duffin. Fernie is currently behind Nikita in P6 and 5. So P5 for Nikita, a good solid round for Nikita. He's just been minding his own business and got himself head down and focused on the race. Leon Fernie, a great recovery back up to P6. Craig in P7. Goudet currently P8 with Davis worked his way up into P9, back ahead of his teammate. DJ Phil in P10 with Michelle in P11, Micro J's P12, MB Pitts in 13th, Tucker in 14th place position, Richie in 15th, Playman 16th, Dean in 17th, Flemspeed 1 after that stop is down in 18th place with BD Boy in 19th, Dean Masaki 20th, Cranky Duckhead 21st, Ian Gray in 22nd, and E. Colon back of the pack. But Nova and Duffin now, pretty much these two are going to be fighting out to the end. Flemspeed is going to try and hang in as much as he possibly can. Unless anything happens to these two, it is looking like these two for the fight. As you look further down the order, there's not really much going on at the front. Let's have a look further back down. Richie and Tucker are on the back of MB Pitts. So guys, if you haven't done so, please hit that like button and subscribe. Can't be Nova as he grabbed my support deal, sponsorship deal with all the ballast tires. I have to be a Duffin supporter. As you see here, Richie's going side by side with MB Pitts in 130R. And MB Pitts has to lift to give up that position and loses out to Tucker as well. But wow, that was brave. That's a brave corner to go side by side, and somehow they managed to do so. Nova, meanwhile, is just losing pace to Duffin. That dirty air has been affected by the BMW from the back of that car. And Tucker right now is going to try and work his way past Richie. Dean's now onto the back of Playman. As Dean's had a moment and has now lost all that time he gained on Playman and drops further back. And all the positions now after the pit stops kind of just stayed level. DJ Phil is catching his teammate. But GT Jimbo goes past the Cranky Duckhead. And it's, like I said, it's all just spread out a little bit. No one's really in a racing position right now. It's probably Tucker and Richie is close your fight at the minute. But it's Max Mulder who's got the fastest lap. He's leading the way. That's GT Jimbo in second. Matthew Duffin in third. Comes to the line. 2.7 was the gap. What is it now? It is 2.5. Nova's creeping onto the back of him slowly. Nikita is in P5. A solid drive from him tonight. P6 is Leon Fernie. P7 is B. Craig as he comes down the main straight now. We then look to John Goudet in the back of the pack. I'm not sure why he goes to the far right-hand side of the circuit. Don't quite get that. But he's currently P8. I guess he's trying to go for fastest lap, possibly. Not sure. Just behind him is the Audio Sport duo of DJ Phil and Kelly Davis. Davis leading the way. This is actually your closest fight on track. The inter-team squabble. Team Audio Sport getting some airtime now with these two scrapping it out. Taking a lot of curb there, DJ Phil. Really trying to bring that gap down to his teammate. Who else is that close to a fight? Dean's brought that gap back down to Playman. Dean Wasocki keeping at it. He's back into 20th position ahead of these two, Ian Gray and the Cranky Duckhead. So the positions are coming to Dean. Flem Speed 1 is still trying to hunt down Dean and Playman, so there's more points on the cards for Flem Speed. I think if he's got the pace, he could get up to Micro J's by the end of this race. So Micro J's going into Degner too. Flem Speed's now coming up to Dunlop Curb. If he keeps his head down and try and focus on catching the guys in front, it might happen. Meanwhile, leaders matching each other lap for lap. And Duffin and Nova also matching each other at the minute. As Nova now comes to the line. 2.6 is the gap. And it is 2.5 again between these two. DJ Phil has made a mistake, which is bringing him closer to the clutches of Michelle. Meanwhile, Micro J's has lost the position to Richie, but he's coming back underneath of Spoon. But he's not got the run there. That's a fall back into place. Into 130R, there you go. But Micro J's not really able to fight with the Ferrari. The Ferrari pulling away. Nova's actually brought the gap down by 3/10 through Sector 1. And Matt's a little bit sloppy through Degner too, but so is Nova. GT Jimbo's brought that gap down, 2.4 between the leaders. This is how good these two have been in this race, Max Mulder and GT Jimbo. They're 16.6 ahead of Duffin and Nova. So they've had a really good race here. So they're just all starting to bring those gaps down. Craig is slowly creeping onto the back of Leon Fernie. Micro J's is sticking with Richie. Richie's not disappearing. Dean is back on to Playman, who Playman is on the back of MB Pitts, with Flem Speed on the back of them as well now. So Flem Speed could possibly get up to 15th place if he keeps his head down. So once again, we get into that quiet lull stage where nothing really happens, and it all starts to happen towards the end of the race. And again, 2.1 now to Duffin and Nova. It is 1.9 between the top two, under 2 seconds. The gaps are coming down now. The pressure is starting to go on some drivers. Duffin, though, looks like he's extended that gap back once again to Nova. 2.1. Nope, it's matched in the final sector. So Nova is coming back. Oh, sorry, that was Dean Wasocki moving out the way of Max Mulder with GT Jimbo. We're coming up to lap him now as well. Michelle, meanwhile, right on the rear wing of DJ Phil as they go through 130R. DJ Phil comes up to the Casino Triangle, and Michelle goes down the inside, and he just manages to hang on to that position, does DJ Phil. And Michelle tries to get a better run through the chicane, but can't do so. He's going to be a little bit more slower and sluggish going down the straight. Meanwhile, we've got Flem Speed on the back of Dean and Playman. Flem Speed attacking Dean straight away and gets the job done in the chicane. Can he get Playman straight away as well? He looks for the undercut. And he goes for the swooping underneath, and he should be able to get the run. He's going to be a little bit slower in a straight line. Michelle has not got DJ Phil, but Flem Speed didn't quite get Playman into turn 1. Will he try and get him into turn 2? And as Dean looks to the inside of Flem Speed, but not quite enough room there. Flem Speed's going to go around the outside of Playman, and Playman, yeah, not really fighting with Flem Speed. He knows his fight is with Dean. Next is MB Pitts for Flem Speed. And if anything happens in front, he could catch this squabble of cars and get himself into 11th, which is damage limitations. But 3.1 to the gap, Max Mulder and GT Jimbo. GT Jimbo lost time. Duffin has gained time on Nova. Oh, there's the Cranky Duckhead in the middle of the exit of 130R. And how they've all managed to avoid him, I do not know. And Cranky Duckhead has managed to get going again. So Duffin, 3 seconds was the gap, and I think it's definitely a lot bigger now after a little bit of a scare for Nova. It's 3.7 now, so Nova just losing pace now. Leon Fernie starting to come pressure under Tucker. Sorry, Craig, I mean. Heading up towards 130R, Michelle and DJ Phil. DJ Phil taking a lot of curb as he goes in, and the Lamborghini did not like it, so he runs very wide at 130R. Michelle can't seem to get the run he wants to get past DJ Phil at the minute. And Flemspeed is now working his way onto Tucker into the chicane. He goes. The gap has gone down from 3 seconds once again to 2.2. There seems to be seesawing between the two drivers. Max seems to has the advantage for a second, and then GT Jimbo creeps onto the back of him. Max has got this all under control since lap 1, turn 1. But is he starting to struggle with tyres? Duffin is pretty much pulled away from Nova. Nova seems to have no answer to Duffin right now. And Michelle now still trying to find a way past on DJ Phil. Dean is still looking to try and find a way past on Playman. So the gap between Flemspeed and Tucker is 7.3. And Tucker is in the middle of a squabble with Micro J's as well. So this will just creep Flemspeed more back into this fight. He's already 6.4 behind. So in just the first sector alone, he's near enough found a second on these two. And Craig is slowly catching Leon Fernie. And Duff has really extended that gap to Nova now. I don't really think Nova's got an answer to Duffin now. So Matt pulling away. So Craig slowly creeping onto the back of Leon Fernie. Michelle still can't find a way through on DJ Phil. And Tucker has managed to get past Micro J's as he goes through the second sector. Through goes Tucker. The gap between them and Flemspeed was 6.7. It is now 4.2. While they've been scrapping, Flemspeed has took another 2 seconds out of them, just in the middle sector alone. There is your race leader, Max Mulder, on 2.1 ahead of GT Jimbo, who've got a 20-second gap over Duffin and Nova. Nikita in P5. Has got it pretty much under control ahead of Leon Fernie, who's under some pressure from Craig. Goude's all on his lonesome self. Davis currently on his own as well. He's got quite a nice gap over DJ Phil and Michelle. Michelle still can't find a way through on DJ Phil. He's going to be stuck behind that car for a while. Dean still can't find a way past on Playman. So Michelle in 11th, Richie sitting in 12th. Tucker has got past Micro J's. Micro J's is 14th with only 2.8 to Flemspeed now. So Flemspeed slowly but surely catching the two in front, with MB Pitts in 16th, who's got Playman right behind him now, who's dragged Dean. Well, I say dragged, Dean's dropped off a little bit. BD Boy 19th. Dean Wasaki 20th and about to get lapped by Nova. Ian Gray 21st. The Cranky Duckhead in the wall. E. Colon at the back of the pack in 23rd position. So these two coming up to the back of Ian Gray, looking to lap the BMW driver is Leon Fernie and Craig. Guys, who are you supporting here at Simplay Motorsport? 3 votes so far, and 1 for Flemspeed, 2 for Duffin. As there's currently 23 of you watching right now. Get your votes in on who you think is going to be the champion of Pro-Am this season. Normally the rules being the top 3 would go up into Pro. And Leon Fernie now puts a lap on Ian Gray. Michelle has finally got up the inside of DJ Phil, and DJ Phil just closes the door shut on him. And little bit annoyed there from DJ Phil. I think it's a little bit late there, as a bit of a Senna and Prost moment there. Playman on the back of MB Pits. We go back to Michelle, who's down the inside of DJ Phil. DJ Phil has pretty much lost that position now to the Ferrari driver and has helped him out massively to keep Michelle away from Davis. Can Michelle do anything about Davis towards the end? Playman is within reach of MB Pitts but lost that time. GT Jimbo has brought the gap down, 1.8. Is it too little too late now? 1.6. I think it might be a little bit too little too late. Dean looking to attack Playman, no real threat there. We'll go to the top two. And we're possibly looking at 2 more laps here. This one, and then the final lap. So Max Mulder's just got to hang in there for 2 more laps. As Flemspeed still trying to bring that gap down to Tucker. He can see him in the foreground. If he can get up to 13th, that'll be a good recovery considering he's been into the pits twice. But GT Jimbo, has he got any last minute answer to Max Mulder? That is the question. Matthew Duffin will extend his championship lead. Not by much, but it'll be enough. Going into Spa, he'll still be leading. But Duffin will want to make sure that when they go to Spa, he has as much advantage as possible. And then Kyle Army as well. Another circuit that should really favour the McLaren. But we'll see how it gets on. The BMW very good on the curbs, so it could abuse the curbs quite nicely. But GT Jimbo is getting closer and closer. Not close enough, I don't think. As now, Flemspeed has got within 1.7 of Tucker. And then we have this 3-way fight. MB Pitts, Playman and Dean. Coming up to the chicane. And Dean sent it on Playman. Gives him a small tap and around he goes. So the attack on MB Pitts ain't going to happen now. As Playman's struggling to get it going again. Where is Dean? He's just there and carried on going through. BD Boy not really in sight. So Playman's got going again. Into the final chicane, the top 2 come. And another vote for Nova. But what a race we've had at Suzuka. Max Mulder starts his final lap and the gap is 1.5 as GT Jimbo is coming back at him. Leon Fernie has got some pressure from Craig. Meanwhile, Flemspeed... Oh, Tucker's had a moment in Degner too. And Flemspeed has gone side by side. Probably won't get Richie now, but he will get Tucker up into the hairpin. He's up back into 13th place position. But, yeah... Flemspeed working his way back to 13th place after a stop and go as well. We'll end that poll there. We'll put out driver of the day. And we'll have to look to GT Jimbo, of course. Max Mulder's had a decent night as well. But Max Mulder really had it under control as he went into the first corner here and hasn't really looked behind since. This is basically the closest GT Jimbo has been to him since the early stages of this race. But a great drive from Max Mulder here. And there is your poll for driver of the day. Get your votes in. But 1 through into 130R, down towards the final chicane. As Playman's just hanging in there ahead of BD Boy. But it is Max Mulder He takes a third and a race win here. He stops GT Jimbo from winning 4 from 4. Max Mulder wins at Suzuka in the feature. It is then GT Jimbo in second place, top 3 once again. So congratulations, GT Jimbo. But it's going to be out of the championship contenders, Matthew Duffin, who is going to get himself onto the podium position. He will extend his championship ever so slightly, but it's still extending, and he will take P3 here at Suzuka. Circuit he's not really a big fan of, but he will take P3 nonetheless. Nova is going to come out of the final corner and finish in P4. Cranky Duckhead's already finished and gone P22. So Nova nearly getting caught by Nikita by the end, 12 seconds off. But Nikita comes home for a P5. Leon Fernie in a P6. Craig in P7. John Goudet in the struggling Mercedes here is going to come home for P8. I totally agree, Mike. Nikita was a solid drive from him. Goudet is going to come home for P8. Michelle's attacking Davis right at the end. And Davis has to straight line the chicane. Is he going to just hang in there? As Davis goes into the final corner. Michelle right on the rear wing. You've got to go all the way to the line, boys. All the way. Michelle's trying to draft him, but it is Davis from Michelle. DJ Phil is just going to hang in as Flemspeed did catch Richie right at the end there. But DJ Phil for 11th, Richie 12th. Flemspeed 1 in 13th. Tucker is going to finish in 14th place position. Micro J's in 15th place position. MB Pitts is going to finish in 16th. And Playman did manage to get Dean. Dean allowed him back through. So that's fair racing there from Dean. He gives the position back. BD Boy doesn't quite get there as Dean Wasaki's back into the pits. Cranky Duckhead's finished. Ian Colon as well. But it's going to be Playman to come home for AP 17, 18 for Dean, and BD Boy in 19th. But it is Max Mulder is your race winner from GT Jimbo. From Duffin is your top 3. As Goudet is doing some donuts for us. And what an interesting race Suzuka has been. It is a bit emotional, and a reminder as well to the 2 Greasy Bandits boys are running the yellow livery for the Jota driver, who sadly wasn't unable to race tonight, looking after his nephew after being involved in a bit of an incident. And nice to see them supporting each other by obviously supporting them in their colorways. But it has been GT Jimbo and Max Mulder, the stories tonight. But regarding the championship standings, it is going to be very, very close. We do have one of our championship contenders joining us, as I believe the tables have been updated. And Tib says, let's go, Max, in the chat. Sam says, good racing, folks. Peaceful Stepdad as well in the chat saying, good race, guys. Well done. And yeah, we will get to the championship contenders in a minute. It is down to 4 now after Suzuka, with only 2 races left to go, Spa and Kyalami. And we will start with one of the championship contenders, Matt, as that was an interesting race from yourself. Obviously, first things first, you're not the biggest fan of the circuit. I know that for sure. You've got to be happy walking away from this still leading the championship. Even though Nova and Flemspeed are catching you, you were top dog in the end of that, and a great fight between the 3 of you in that race.
Yeah, it was a really good battle between the 3 of us. Nova defended really, really well. I have to take my hat off to him. He was brilliant. Yeah, he was really good. It was a good fight, good battle. You know, Nova got me for the best of me for quite a while. So it was interesting to see. And then yeah, it was just interesting. It was a good fight, and you know, we got past him. Obviously, this week, I think one of the drivers, I think it was iGray, decided to put a suggestion into the admins and say, look, why don't the 3 championship rivals run on nothing? Obviously, as we know, Nova's ran with 20. I've ran 40 and 20% restrictor. And Flem's had 40 kilograms. And so the admins decided we all run 40 kilograms to still make it fair for the other PROAM drivers. We did that. And, you know, you saw tonight fantastic racing from the 3 of us. I thought it was a good battle. Flem unlucky to get the stop-go penalty. And then, yeah, I think we had the upper hand over Nova, but like I said, I don't like his circuit, so I'll take that 3rd place.
Obviously, we did say, like you said, Flemspeed was looking so good to bring himself properly back in the championship fight. Obviously, you and Nova having your problems in race 1. But then, obviously, Flemspeed did gain the points back in race 1, but in race 2, it all kind of dwindled away from him. Are you pretty much now just looking at Nova as your championship contender? Flemspeed is still in this. There's 226 points available, but it is looking more like a two-way fight between yourself and Nova.
I mean, yeah, of course, I'm looking at the standings in front of me. Obviously, you can see the standings right now. This is all preliminary until penalties will be decided. I'm 8 points clearing over, 51 clear of Flem. She's pulled a point back on me tonight. So, yeah, at the minute, I think it's keep an eye on Nova. It is my main rival. You've also got to keep an eye on Flem. If me and Nova have 2 bad races, like we did race 1 tonight, and he has a top 3 in both, all of a sudden you're looking over your shoulder and he's clawed, 50, 60 points back now due to the new points regulations this year, and all of a sudden, he's right back in it.
With big group, big drivers, it's you have 1 bad race and that's it. You're clawing your points back again. Obviously, constructors is still incredibly tight between yourselves and the Greasy Bandits, Jaeger Motorsport. It seems like they clawed a load of points in the first race, and then you and Dean claw a little bit more back again in this race. That's going to go down to the wire between you two as well. Really, it's just going to be which Dean comes out on top, I guess.
No. It's going to be how bad John and Dean do and how well I do.
Right, okay.
If I'm going to be brutally honest with you, Dan, I've lost all confidence in my teammate. He's had another bad night. He retires on the penultimate lap. It's another bad night. But, like you say, lost load of points, gained load of points. It's ebbing and flowing. Hats off to John and Dean. They've drove really well race 1 to claw them points back. They did fantastic. They're doing great. John will be the first one. Dean will probably be the second one to say that they're not the quickest. They're not the most consistent. But you know what? This season they've been fantastic. They've been fantastic. And hats off them. You look at John, mathematically still in the Drivers' Championship, 115 behind, but he's had a good season. He's had a great season.
Yeah, it's had a good season. Maybe the Mercedes hampered him a little this season. But we go to Spa, speaking of the Mercedes, a power circuit. And with no restrictor on board now, I bet you're well happy about that. The BMW should favour Spa. There is looking like there is possibly weather lingering around. What can you do there? Nova's going to be quick there. I think Flemspeed will struggle in the Porsche.
Like you say, we know that the Porsche is not the best round there. McLaren should be good. BM should be quite good. Mercedes will probably be all right as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what we can do. No restrictor. It's a fair fight now. I said to you the other day, these last 3 races, these last 3 weeks, it's a fair fight. Me and over Flem, we're the same. So it's go and see what we can do again. It's go and give our all and put it out there. I like Spa. Prefer Spa to this. So hopefully we get a better one. Just want to tip my hat off today to the GT Jimbo and Max. Boy, they had some pace and they was gone. They was rapid both races. They've been electric tonight. So well done to them too on the wins and podiums. Yeah, fantastic, Dan.
Well, congratulations, Matt, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the pro race.
Cheers, boys. Well done, Max and GT Jimbo.
We now move to Max, and well, I didn't quite get the pole position, Max, but around the outside into turn 1, and that was it. Done and dusted. You didn't look behind you. Great win, and how does that one feel?
Man, it feels so good. Finally got a win, and it was going so fast today. Yeah.
It has seemed like this season, every time you've had the opportunity to score some good points, you've had a chance to win, something has happened, a drive-through of some form, a contact, a little mistake, but finally it all came into place here at Suzuka. Obviously, we do move to Spa, which is the next race of the season. What do you think of Spa, and how do you think you're going to get on there?
Well, last season I crashed on the final lap being in the lead, so I have to make something good.
Definitely so. I'm going to be guessing you're going to be cheering your good mate Tibbs tomorrow night in the pro category. Talk about the race in general. It seemed like GT Jimbo was just keeping you on edge at times, but you just seem to be able to keep the pressure and just keep the car under control. Did the car just genuinely feel that good around this circuit?
No, I was sliding at the end, like after 20 minutes, it was sliding all the way. So when he finally made his pit stop, I was like, okay, finally I can push a little bit less.
Yep.
And when he was again behind me, I was like, shit, no. And then also some lap cars had made it very hard.
Well, nonetheless, mate, congratulations on the win. And also the fans, the 7 votes that have gone through, the fans are giving you driver of the day as well. So congratulations on that one as well.
Thank you.
And that is it for Suzuka. And apologies, really, the language you heard from Max Mulder. He was obviously struggling with the car that much. But we do now look to the pro drivers to head to the track. If I'm going to give my driver of the day, I'm going to have to give it to Nikita, actually. Although Max Mulder had a fantastic drive, I know what Max can do in a race car. But I'm going to have to give it to Nikita. A solid drive from him. Tell Max Tracy said hi and his biggest fan. So there you go. Sam in the chat also saying, what are you doing with the server settings? To be honest, GT Jimbo in mid-pack at the best of FBR. Well done, Max, says Sam. But that is it for the Pro-Am boys. We shall see you tomorrow night as Matthew Duffin will be back in the commentary box, hopefully with PM Motorsport, and they'll be bringing the action for the Pro category as they'll be heading to the circuit of Suzuka, and let's see what they can do. Myself and Mike Matthews going for the championship, although there's still other drivers mathematically still in it. Alex and Gary 131 all still mathematically in it, but we head to Suzuka for the pros, and we shall see how we get on there. But from myself and everyone here at Simplay Motorsport, it is pretty much down to 3 drivers. We go to Spa, and then we finish things off at Kyalami. Duffin, Nova, Flem Speed, mathematically still Goudet, but we shall see how things all pan out in Spa. But from myself and everyone here, it is good night. Whew.
Oh, that was a very hard night.
Well done, man.